Now, today we have a very special guest here. We're going to look at a very important topic that is really trending and is affecting everyone living in Nigeria. We're going to be looking at combating cybercrime in Nigeria. Cybercrime right now is something that is taking a toll on Nigerians. We've seen how very young people are with questionable wealth, but we're going to be looking at a new portal that just been installed by the Nigerian police, and we have a very special guest here. He is the Public Relations Officer, Lagos State Police Command. Please welcome Benjamin Hundeyin, SP Benjamin Hundeyin. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on the show today.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. So towards the end of last month, we got a report about how the Nigeria Police Force, opened a portal to tackle cybercrime in Nigeria. We know that cybercrime is a cankerworm that is really eating deep into our fabrics. But it's as though a lot of people are not even aware of this portal. People don't know what it's about. People don't have so much detail about it. So can you bring us up to speed on this?
Thank you very much. To start with, the portal is not new. It's been there for years. We only upgraded it and changed the URL. So it used to be incb.npf.gov.ng, but now we've made it NCCC, which means National Cybercrime Center.npf.gov.ng. So it's there. It's been there. I just need to state that clearly. And the reason we have that portal is to make reporting of cybercrime quite easier for people. So you don't need to walk into a station to report cybercrime. You just go to the portal and lodge your complaint. Also, it is also to make it easier for complainants in diaspora, because most times we have people calling from the US, the UK to say, oh, somebody in Nigeria swindled me, how do I report? So it's just to make it easy for us to collate these reports and commence investigation from people within Nigeria and outside Nigeria.
Right, but over the years, we've seen, cases where cybercrime has been on the increase. And how has it been before this? I know that in 2020, there was a conversation about this portal. Like you said, it has just been, revamped, if I would use that word. And over the years till date, how exactly has it, before the advent of this portal, how has cybercrime been tackled by the Nigerian police force? Because we still hear cases on the rise every day.
Before people took notice of the portal, or before people started gaining confidence in the portal, many people used the old method of writing out petitions and submitting in our offices, and we take them up. Just recently, I think last week, senior special advisor to the governor on media, Jubril Gawat, governor of Lagos State, reported somebody the old way. He wrote a petition and submitted it, and the person was arrested. The person was cyberbullying him. Would always go online to say nasty things about him. So, if you ask how have we been doing it, we've been using the old method. So, like I said earlier, the portal is just to make it easier for people, especially those abroad, to be able to report.
All right. So if I might ask you, since inception of the portal till now, can you state some of the achievements that you've been able to come across with this portal? Have there been any arrests, prosecution, and all that?
There have been so many arrests. There have been so many recoveries. There have been so many repatriations. If you go through the NCC, that's the National Cybercrime Center, social media handles, be it Twitter, Facebook, or even Instagram, you would see these testimonies there. We've recovered monies for foreigners, and we send it back to them. We've also arrested Nigerians who committed some cyber-related offenses abroad and ran back home. We've also sent people back. And we've also equally extradited people back home. With the help of Interpol. So it's been an ongoing success, if I can put it that way, success to tackle cybercrime. I don't know, cybercrime a bit elitist somehow. You need to be educated, you need to have money, you need to be on the internet to do it.
But is that the case though? These days we see young adults that are not even elites, that are not educated, that are not rich, committing cyber crimes.
You still need at least a mobile phone. You still need internet, no matter how slow it is, to do some of these things. It's different from the boy who snatches your bag in traffic. So my point is, the point I was trying to make is, being a bit elitist and a bit abstract for people who don't understand, when you talk about arresting cyber criminals, the average Nigerian on the streets does not exactly relate with it. So it explains why some people don't even know about the successes recorded here, except when maybe EFCC goes into a university to pick student head. That one makes sense. So people resonate more with, oh, we arrested a traffic robber today, we arrested armed robbers today. So I'm not surprised that people, or you are asking about the successes, but they are there. We do it regularly.
All right. Do not forget that you can be a part of the conversation. Do well to call us and let us know your thoughts. 0812-182-0154 is the number to call. I take that again. 0812-182-0154 is the number to call. So now, how exactly is the Nigerian police force trying to build the trust of Nigerians? This is what I mean. Over time, we've had cases where people come out to say, oh, I reported this issue, nothing was done about it, and so when something happens again, they don't even want to go back because they feel they are wasting their time. So what is the Nigerian police force doing to regain the confidence and trust of Nigerians that, okay, when things like this happen, you can always reach out to us and we'll definitely sort it out?
Okay, you see, since I became PR in Lagos, and with my constant use of social media, I've come to realize something. I wasn't taught, I realized it myself, that we have what we know as the silent majority, and a very loud minority. So people come online to say, oh, police is this, police is that. Does not really reflect the mindset of the majority. It's just a minority that is very loud. And we have this majority that decides to keep quiet. They don't even want to say one good thing about the police because that loud minority will come at them. Like, oh, shut up, you're a police family, you're this, you're that. So the point I'm trying to make here is the trust is getting better. People reach out to us every day to say, oh, thank you for the other time. And I have a similar case again. So people reach out to us. People prefer to even reach out personally, not online. They don't want people to know about their private businesses. So the trust is increasing. And how do we further improve the trust? It's not by words, but by action. So when they come to us, we take up their cases and we give them feedback. We let them know, oh, we've arrested that suspect. We'll be going to court tomorrow. We'd like you to also appear to testify against him. So I might not be in the best position to gauge or assess the trust level, but from what I've seen so far since I got here, the trust level has increased. People reach out a lot and we try our best not to disappoint them. But again, it's about the very loud minority and the silent majority.
All right, now looking at the e-portal, two questions. The first question is, for instance, if I were to report someone in my area, am I assured of some level of anonymity whereby I can report and my identity still remains intact? And also, secondly, what is the wait time or the response time if I report that thing through that e-portal? Is the investigation carried out swiftly, or is there some form of investigation that has to be carried out silently before I see some responses? Okay,
so for confidentiality, it's very easy. You are not walking into a station. No CCTV is capturing your face. So I don't know about you, but most of us have this other email address that we don't use for serious things. All of us have this other Twitter account
just somewhere
that we use to check what somebody said about us, if that person has blocked us on our real account. So yes, we all have these things. So if you want to report anonymously with confidentiality, you can make use of that. Open a new email address, call it whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and send your message. It won't be disregarded because it's just a series of numbers. Your complaints will be looked at for its merits and it will be acted upon. Now, how fast will it take? It all depends on how serious or severe your complaint is. We would always prioritize emergencies. Somebody from, well, let me not mention a particular country, but somebody from one country just reaches out to us to say, sometimes they send you videos, they are crying, like, all my life savings, one boy in Nigeria has taken everything. And you can tell that this person is suicidal. I think you would agree with me that we should prioritize that over just an anonymous tip that, oh, I think my neighbor is a Yahoo boy, he just cashed out, they were partying yesterday. No victim known yet. So the victim of that neighbor could actually be somebody who hasn't even realized that his money was taken. So we'd actually prioritize it based on how important it is. So investigation generally, maybe cyber crime investigation or any other thing, does not have a time frame, because you don't know what you would stumble upon, you don't know the difficulty you'd meet, but we'll try to be as fast as possible.
All right. Just to take you back a little, when he talked about being anonymous, and you mentioned that if you can create another email or what have you, does that mean that if I choose to use the email or whatever whatever mail or method I'm popularly known with, does that mean that I am not safe? But before you answer that, we have a call. Jide from Ikotun. Hello, Jide. Thank you for joining us on the Breakfast Cafe.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Jide. Can you hear me?
I think the call is a bit faint.
All right. We cannot hear Jide. It is very faint. Do well to call us back and share your thoughts. 0812-182-0154.
So we have a responsibility to protect the identity of, let me use the word whistleblower at this time.
Okay.
A whistleblower, not a complainant, not the direct victim who says, oh, I've been swindled. Just a whistleblower. We have a responsibility. But I'm just saying, two-factor authentication. Like you still don't trust us. Like these people, I still don't trust them. Yeah, so you can do that email thing. But ordinarily, in fact, there are some complaints that you have to give your identity. If you say, oh, somebody swindled me, you need to come out, you need to put down a statement, you need to testify in court. So you can't do that anonymously. But let's assume you're a whistleblower. Even if you use your real name, your identity is protected.
What if I don't want to go through this whole process of going to court? What if I have a case, I still want to stay anonymous? I don't want people to really make it all loud. Can it be resolved without going through that process?
Yes, the case will still go to court, but it's at the discretion of the magistrate or judge to strike out the case. If the magistrate insists that, oh, if this man truly stole someone's money, I want to see the victim who is complaining that, yes, my money was stolen. I want to see him during the next adjournment. He needs to come and testify, even if he won't stand in the dock, even if he needs to come and see me in my chamber. I just want to see to be sure. And first adjournment, second adjournment, the person refuses to come. The magistrate has every right to strike out the case.
Right.
And most times the blame comes to the police that, oh, they messed up the case. They threw the case out.
All right, we have Felix from Ilori on the line. Hello, Felix. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead. Felix from Ilorin. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Please, I want PRO to speak on this. How can you help us? I've seen a situation where
we're struggling to hear Felix. We would appreciate if it's a bit louder.
Sorry, I'm saying I've seen a situation where when I was traveling, they caught a boy with a phone, and they were trying to ask him to transfer money to them. So when you catch somebody and you don't report him, you collect money from him, how do we cop these fake things from this?
I don't know if you got his question. They caught a boy and they asked him to transfer money to them. So how do we... we'll even get into that, but to answer Felix's question...
The good thing about transfers is that it can't be erased, it can't be deleted. It leaves a digital footprint. So I always advise people in such situations to stay safe. You are alone amongst people in the middle of nowhere. They are armed, and anything could happen. Things could go awry. So I always advise people to just stay safe. For myself too, when I travel alone like that, I just stay safe. Then after that, please ensure to report the conduct of those officers. Just note the important details, the date, the time, the place, and with those details we can fish out those men and make sure they are punished, and whatever wrong they did is reversed. In this particular case, the money is refunded and those guys are punished.
What are these details exactly that you're talking about, so that they can...
For some people, you ask them, what name did you see on the officer's uniform? And they tell you, oh, I was panicky, I didn't even observe all of that. Ordinarily, I would have wanted the name. I would have wanted the name written on their patrol vehicle.
Okay.
Blah, 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 division. But people tell you they panic. Okay, fine, you panicked, you didn't say that. But can you at least remember the date, the time, so that we can tell if it's morning duty officers or afternoon duty, the time, and the place. Those three things are enough. Time, place, and date. And we can always, we have our weekly postings, we can always call it up and see who was posted to which place at what time. So those are the details I'm talking about. Another issue we always encounter is people just say, you know what, officer, after complaining, and the next thing they say is, you know what, I leave them to God. That won't help issues. And sometimes you arrest these officers and you bring them out for these people to identify. Are these the officers? Yes. And because they see the officers crying, they're like,
pity.
I forgive them. And of course, that does not say the case. That doesn't mean the case ends there. But you know, I'll try to make this as fast as possible. Orderly room trial. So you try people, you read the offenses to them, like a mini court within the police. You read the offenses to them, and they need to plead guilty or not, and all that and all that. The complainant still needs to come forward to say, to positively identify the person. This is the person. So like the scenario I painted earlier, sometimes complainant just say, I leave it to God, I'm not coming. And if those ingredients are not there, if there's no complainant to positively identify somebody, if there's no complainant to write a statement and sign it and uphold that statement that, yes, I made the statement, it will be difficult to dismiss that officer. Because if you do, he has every right to appeal the dismissal and it will be reinstated. So these are the challenges we face sometimes.
Right. So don't forget, you can call us 0812-182-0154. You know, this brings me to, away from cybercrime, but still on the issue of policing in the country. Over time, I have witnessed it being stopped by policemen without uniform, and they are in large groups with this Korokwe buses, not an official police vehicle, and you are stopped, you are questioned, you are asked to come down, provide this document, but they are not in uniform, no form of identification. I still saw a video on social media yesterday, I shared it with him, the same thing. Someone, a civilian, was being harassed by an ununiformed man. He said he was a police officer, there was no means of identification, and people have come out to report cases like this. What exactly is happening, and why do we have cases where policemen at checkpoints or what have you, without uniform, without official vehicles, stopping people, questioning them?
Okay, I would answer this way. I want to assume that you work under the programs department in this organization. Or let's just assume that you work under the programs department in this organization. So when you have an issue, I'm sure you won't go straight to the CEO of this organization and say, oh, I have an issue in my department. I'm sure you would speak with your HOD first. And if it's beyond the HOD, then you will take it higher. So the point I'm making here is, there's an officer who is misbehaving somewhere in one street. He's under an HOD. He's under a DPO. The DPO is his HOD, is his immediate line supervisor. So what I always do is to reel out the phone numbers of these HODs, DPOs in this case. And it has helped. I don't know if you've noticed, I've withdrawn those numbers. And I saw the reaction of Nigerians, like, oh, why did you withdraw those numbers?
Yeah, why was it withdrawn?
Oh, it has always helped us. We don't even need to bother you, just call the DPO and the case gets solved. So it's been verified that people reach out to supervisors to complain about their boys, and they thank them for bringing this to their notice, and they quickly put it in check. Why was it withdrawn? I won't let the cat out of the bag. We're trying to create permanent numbers. We're tired of changing these numbers each time a DPO changes. You know, we don't have 911. We use our personal numbers. But this time around, we are getting permanent phone numbers that will be in the station so that if a DPO leaves, at least the next DPO still uses that number.
Right. We have Daniel from Lagos on the line. Good morning, Daniel. All right, Daniel, do well to call us back.
Quickly before we go, I just have one question. I know you are. We've seen different videos of police entering into various homes and arresting people claiming to be what we call Yahoo boys and all that. So I know the police is also doing a lot to try as much as possible to curb this, but what can one do? Let's say, for instance, I'm in my house and police breaks into that particular building, parks of everybody. How can I get out of that kind of situation, and what can the police do, to reduce the rate at which they do this?
Well, I don't know if I understand your question well, but how can you get out of it? So it happens. It happens that crime happens somewhere, and for a start, and this is not just Nigeria police, this is standard policing. You wouldn't like the sound of it, but it is what it is. So crime happens somewhere. For a start, you cordon off that area, and everybody in that vicinity is first taken for questioning. Everybody in that vicinity. Okay. Then one by one, you let people go. Once you can ascertain that, this person has nothing to do with it, until you have the main people you want. So how do you get out of it? Except you're a criminal, except you are guilty of what you have been accused of, you'd explain yourself, and you'll be allowed to go. It's a different thing if the police is trying to criminalize you, force criminality on you. That's a different thing. But if you can explain yourself, I'm sure you'll be allowed to go. Then your second question, you said, how do we reduce?
What is the police doing to reduce? We've seen videos. I mean, there was a video I saw recently whereby they're trying to break into a particular building.
Yes, there's power of ingress. Under the law, there's power of ingress. So if it's ascertained that there's a criminal in this building and I have my search warrant and I announce my presence to that person and the person refuses to open the door, we have what we call power of ingress. We have all the powers to break into that building. What
about if the police officer do not have a search warrant? What happens?
Then that's wrong. Do I have... No, we don't need to debate what's wrong. It's wrong. Right. If a police officer does not have search warrant and he breaks into a place, there are some cases where you don't need a search warrant, mind you. There are some cases where you don't need a search warrant. But if it's the kind of case where you need a search... Okay, so I'm running after a felon and the felon runs into a building and locks the door. I don't need a search warrant to break that door and bring him out. But in a case where you need a search warrant and he doesn't do it, then it's clearly wrong. You report the conduct of such officers and to be taken up.
Right. Just before we go, because we have about 2 minutes, I would just like to ask you, hop on this video. I saw that you responded to it on Twitter, which is now X. This video that was making rounds about 2-3 weeks ago about a cab driver that was driving and a police officer. I'm sure you remember the video, and the woman that was recording had to jump out of the moving vehicle, and you responded to it. How do we deal with cases like that? We've seen cases where a civilian and a policeman are arguing, dragging, and the policeman is even armed, and that's why we hear cases of trigger-happy policemen. I need to hold my thought for a minute. We have Babajide from Songo on the line. Hello, Babajide. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. We cannot hear you. It is very low. Can you please speak up?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Ben. Please, I want to ask you.
Oh, we cannot hear Babajide.
It's the call.
It is so low.
And they wanted to search the car, and I said that we are allowed to actually report why you are searching the car, because there are cases where someone like a policeman is searching the car and probably...
We can't pick anything Babajide is saying. Like, it is extremely low, and we cannot pick what Babajide is saying. Please do well to call us back as soon as possible. So I'm sure you get the scenario I'm talking about. How do we manage cases like that, because it happens a lot?
Okay, so there are two parties to this: the police and the civilian. We are civilians too. We are civil police. We are not military police. So I don't like saying police and civilians. But in this particular case, the police and the offender. So while we work on our part, like that officer in that particular video was summoned to the headquarters, and appropriate, that's the keyword, appropriate disciplinary action has been taken on him, because he actually endangered the lives of everybody in that vehicle. While we do that, Nigerians still need to exercise restraint in dealing with police officers. So many times we see aggression. People just don't like the appearance of the police.
Because they don't feel safe.
You just see the police and their mood changes. You see somebody laughing, driving, and he sees a checkpoint and his face changes. And it's not a criminal. It's not like he's afraid of anything. He's not. He doesn't have any. He just doesn't like. And you know. So we need to also exercise some restraint and try to work together with police officers.
Right. All right. We would have really, really loved to continue the conversation because we're trying to, a couple of people are trying to, you know, reach out to us, but we have to go because of our time. I'm sure we'll definitely have you on our show
I'm always at your service.
some other time. Thank you so much, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, for joining us and for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
And thanks for having me on the show today.
All right, we just had an interesting conversation with the PRO, Lagos State Police Command, on combating cybercrime in Nigeria and other related police issues. We'll take a